Hi everybody, welcome to the OAG RC December show. I hope you all enjoyed last month's content, especially the DTO2 run that we had. Christmas is coming now and all things are starting to get very, very busy. So with that in mind, I'm going to try and keep things moving this month and just give you an update on what's going on the channel, what we're working on. There's nothing on the bench this month because, well, I'm trying to keep it clear for the various maintenance jobs and cleanups that we've got to do. This needs a good clean still. And yeah, lots going on. So let me get started with another RC review. Right, this month's RC review is the awesome TT02B Plasma Edge 2. As you guys know, this is the winner of last season's Orchard Raceway. It is quite a remarkable and composed entry-level RC. There is so much you can do to this. It is basically a TT02 chassis that has some slightly longer shocks, some different arms, some different drive shafts, and that's about it really. Basically the wheelbase is extended, which allows more travel in the wheels, giving it more, I suppose, movement over rough terrain. It is raised up higher than a standard TT02, but really not much when you compare it to other buggies. They do sit slightly higher. But what I love about this is it, out of the box, it drives really, really well, certainly on the loose stuff. I think if you're running this about on a carpet track or on a flat car park, you might not get the same experience out of it that I have running it on the Orchard Raceway. But for me, it just performs exactly as you want it to. It's fast, it's got a torque-tuned motor in it, it's stock. It comes with CVAs as stock, so you get quite a lot of good stuff on this kit out of the box. And as I've already said, there's a whole range of hop-ups that you can get for this chassis, where once you start tweaking it, you can, sort of get a lot more out of it in the longer term. So let's take a look under the cover. Right, I brought it up a little bit higher as we look inside. So there is a high torque servo saver on here. I put that on because the stock one just kept working itself loose and I couldn't work out why. This was probably only the second RC that I built, so I don't think I was tightening it up. I don't think I was doing it correctly. But I thought that high torque one, certainly works very, very well. Now, interestingly, there's quite a lot. You can see it here as I move the wheels. There's quite a lot of slop in the steering on the TT02 at standard. There is a steering mechanism you can get that upgrades all this, but I still don't think it takes all of that slop out the steering. Now, I actually think on a rough circuit like the Orchard Raceway, that adds to its benefit, if I'm honest, because it hits and rides some of the bumps that are out there. But if you were running this on a smooth track, you wouldn't want all that bouncing around in there. It would be it'd send it all over the place. You're trying to drive it straight. What else have we got? You can get carbon damper stays for the front and the rear. The motor sits under there. Now, if this is a cooling vent in there that's supposed to try and bring some air in, I don't think it particularly works well. I'd probably open that up if I was putting any higher motors in here. This one's just running a standard torque tuned, nothing too special. That's what it came with. You've got gear diffs in the front and the rear. Recently with the XVO2, you can use all of the diffs from the XVO2 in this chassis. They've made it so with the XVO2, all of them, they all fit. The advantage there now is you've got oil-filled diffs available for this, ball diffs available for this. So it's quite smart by Tamiya really to make it that they've given an extra lease of life to this chassis by allowing those diffs to be used in the older models, which I think was a great bit of work. You can go to town on this. There's universals you can get to the front. You can get adjustable arms to go at the front and the rear, which you can start to then play around with the camber and the toe in and out of the vehicle. there's a lot to do on this chassis, and this one is just stock. And even in stock, it's beating everything else around the track, which, you know, makes you wonder, well, why do you need to do anything with it, Craig? What do you want to do with it going forward? Well, at the minute, nothing. But the minute it becomes uncompetitive, there's loads of cool stuff that I can do with it, and I will do it with it because I'm actually quite fond of this chassis. Yeah, it's not the best. There are others out there that are better. I don't think it jumps particularly well. It's quite a heavy chassis, so when it gets in the air, it just doesn't seem to land quite as neatly as some of the other four-wheel drive chassis that I've got. But I love the sound it makes when it's running. It's kind of like a real nice whir to it as it's winding itself around the track. And it's a very, very cool RC. If you're in the market for a four-wheel drive buggy and you're entering into the hobby, you can't go far wrong with this. These are about £130 with the ESC, with the torque tune motor, with the oil-filled shocks. And the performance you'll get off the bat is great fun. Plus, you'll learn to build it up. You'll understand how it goes together. But more importantly, you can improve it and hop it up as you go. Out of 10, I would probably give this an 8. I think it's great. I think there's stuff that I wish was slightly better. I think it'd be really nice if Tamiya released a hopped up version of this like they do with the TT02 chassis, where they have like an S and an R version. I certainly haven't seen one, but it'd be really nice if they brought out a TT02B with an S or an R and had some of the hop-ups on it standard. But great place to start your RC adventures. And there it is, Gold Place 2022. Will it do it for 2023? We'll have to wait and see. So this next section is about RC cars that I want. And this one is a new one that's been announced by Tamiya. This is the TT02BR, and it's a hopped up TT02B. As you know, my current TT02B is the fastest thing around the Orchard Raceway, and this thing looks pretty special. So we've got some different wheels and tyres on it, which apparently help give it some more ground clearance. We've got those awesome buggy front shocks here, which you can see. Oops, I accidentally zoomed in. Shouldn't have done that. You can see on the front of the buggy there, very, very cool shocks. Those alone, you know, in the UK cost about £100. So, you know, they're pretty cool to have those as standard. There's some different shock stays on there, some damper stays in carbon. They look really nice. There's some aluminium rear hubs on it at the back there. There's adjustable rods at the front and the back. There's an alloy drive shaft, which I believe is all new. Yeah, it's pretty loaded. Oil-filled diffs front and back. High torque servo savers in there as well. There is a whole bunch of additional stuff that's going onto this. And it is super, super cool. Now, I priced up all of the hop-ups on this, and I think I got the whole chassis. If you were to buy a standard TT02B and then hop it up, you'd probably be getting close to, you know, £400 or £500 worth of stuff going into this. And you can pick one of these up in the UK for around about £315 when they come out. So that's a pretty good deal. There's a lot on this chassis. So yeah, it's definitely one for the list. It'll be a while, I think, before we get close to this. But, you know, if you're in the market for a four-wheel drive Tamiya, this is definitely up there. It looks pretty slick. I did say, didn't I, when I was doing my TT02 overview, that wouldn't it be really nice if they did an R version where they hop it up, and lo and behold, here it is, it's turned up. So, you know, one for the list, that's for certain. Maybe one day we'll see this go around the Orchard Raceway, and we'll do a head-to-head with that TT02 that I've got and see how much better all these hop-ups make it. Hi everyone, time for that segment of the channel show again, where we go through some channels that I really like. And I'm going to start off with RC so-and-so. I think some of my subscribers already subscribe to this channel. These guys are great. They get out, you know, a lot of their RCs, and they tend to go to really unique locations and have a good old blast with their lunchboxes, TTO2s, Tamiya buggies, you name it, amongst other things. They're always unique designs on their buggies and on their monster trucks, and the intros that they do are fantastic. If you haven't checked them out, please go over to their channel, RC So and So, and give them a subscribe. Another shout out for this month is Jeremy at Hey Dad RC. Jeremy, like me, has been doing some time trials out on his backyard track, and he's recently built himself a real awesome mini crawler course inside for the winter, and he's currently doing a time trial series with his micro crawlers on the track. Great fun, great channel, really good chap, and if you haven't checked him out, please head over to Hey Dad RC and subscribe to his channel. Right, this month's hop-up hunt is all about a vintage RC. It's all about my original Raider. Now, when this was out on the Orchard Raceway, having its run in last season, before I retired it from race use, unfortunately, I broke the ESC wire. And if I'm honest, this the MSC rather than ESC, this MSC wire here has been resoldered and regripped probably more times than I've had hot baths. And we're in a position now where I'm concerned. I mean, I'll strip this wire back and stick it back on again, but the MSC is also sticking to this top plate as well. So sometimes, you know, it goes throttle on and it doesn't return back to throttle off. It just gets stuck open, which is a massive problem, because there isn't any sort of fail-safe on this. If it gets stuck on, it is stuck on and it goes, and there's no way out of it. So I'd like to replace that MSC. So what I'm trying to do is hunt down a new one. More because, look, this is going to go on the shelf. I'm probably going to run it once a year, gently, if I can, around the track. This isn't going to be doing any jumps. This isn't going to be doing anything special. I'm going to clean her up, and every year she's going to come out and just do a lap at the start of the season. The suspension, look at that, look. There's no return in the suspension anymore. I think probably the springs have gone. I just want to keep her running. I've got spares for everything, with the exception of that MSC. So that's what I'm hunting down this month. I'm going to try and get one, replace the one that's on there with a new one, and just keep this thing running, hopefully for another 30 years. So last month I was looking for a body shell for the DF03, and I found one. I've got an Avanti Mark II body shell and decal set. So that is going to be going onto the DF03 rebuild project that we're doing. So we're going to clean that up during this month's show, and then probably next month I'm going to start working on rebuilding it, and then we'll do the body work and the decals. But I also, while I was I found this on Tony's Tamiya Parts. And I was expecting to have to hunt for this for ages, and they had this in stock. And I thought, do you know what? Why not? But also, I found this. And this is a whole load of clear blue plastic parts for the DF03. Limited edition items. So I didn't know this existed, but what we've got here is front bumper, got the diff casing, or the gear casing, should I say, the motor cover. We've got a couple of other little bits. What we've also got on here, which is important, is these back rear arms, which I believe go and hold the wing on. So I was really pleased to find that. We've got the body mounts in blue as well, and some extra, I don't quite know what all these parts are for, but what I do think it will look cool is the Avanti Mark II is going to be in blue, and with the blue accent pieces on the chassis, it's going to look quite neat when it's all done. Or at least that's the plan anyway. So a little bonus hop up that I found And a big shout out to Tony's Tamiya Parts for hooking me up with these. Right, time for videos that have caught my eye this month. And first up is Toys They're Not. And they were out with their Optima Mid on the track. And just go and check this video out. This thing is amazing. It looks great around the track. Yeah, it's a cool video. These guys, whenever they're out on the beach or on the track, there's just some great footage and some really entertaining RC running. So go and check that video out of that Optima Mid because it is really cool. Another cool video this month is Brent at Adventure Time RC. And what he's done is he's hydro dipped some of his RC chassis. And I've always been interested in seeing how this is done. And Brent's done a great video showing how that process works. And the Hornet shell that he's done is really, really cool. So go and check Brent's video out, and maybe I'll have a go at that at some point, Brent, and copy what you've done. Okay, everybody, welcome to the RC Restore segment of this month's show. We have another cat that's making an appearance. I don't know why, maybe they've all come out of hibernation for the winter. This is Martha, who's now well and truly in the way. There we go. So, what I'm in the process of doing is trying to clean these wheels up and get as much mud off them as I can do. There's an RC in there. And then I'm going to try and flake off as much of this black paint as I can while not trying to mess up the wheels. I think if I give them a bit of a soak in cleaner, they might just sort of flake off because it's already started to come off quite cleanly. We'll try and get those back to being yellow again without damaging the wheel. So wish me luck and we'll get started on that. So I wasn't sure if these tyres were Tamiya tyres, but as I've taken them off and under closer inspection, you can see it printed there. So they are. They must have been the original tyres that went on the DFO 3 before they changed them up, or they've just been well used, but they're looking in quite good condition actually. So we're going to go ahead and use those. Some groovy tyre foams came out in the middle of them, so we'll try and make use of those as well. Yeah, it's going to get these wheels cleaned up. Nice set of shiny, clean wheels. They came up really nice. They are practically brand new, I think. I don't think this car's been driven that much, actually. My original thought was that it had been sort of well loved. These tyres are in very good condition. So either someone changed them before they finished running with it, or they didn't run this car much at all. First pass of the wheels. And we haven't done too badly. It's been quite a lot of the black paint come off. And the edges here, it's really difficult to get out. I suppose it's bound the best to the wheel, and obviously on the inside as well. Very difficult to get it out of the inside of there. I don't know what to try next. I've got some Tamiya paint cleaner somewhere. I've also got the Carson paint thinner, which I wouldn't put on a polycarbonate, but I might just try a little bit on these wheels and see if that lifts the edge off of it and see if that helps. So I'll keep going. Paint killer next, I think, and let's see if that helps. And there's the finished product. So we've managed to clean these up reasonably well. So we started off, I mean, I haven't bothered doing the insides because, well, you can only see a little bit. And when we're driving around the track, you're not going to see that. Started off by scrubbing them just with a toothbrush in the sink. Then I put a bit of WD-40 on, which did really nothing. And then I remembered that I had some of this stuff called the pink stuff, which is like a bit of a slightly abrasive cleaner. And I put a little bit of that onto a cloth, rubbed it over the wheel, and most of the paint came off. There's a few little bits, a few little scratches left. But from a distance, they look back to almost good as new. So I'm pretty pleased with those. They're done. So let's see what else we've got to clean up. As I've been going along cleaning this up, I've been amazed at how tidy it really is. So then a bit of dust and grime on the arms. There's not a lot at all of wear anywhere really, other than a bit of dust up. I think this has been run once or twice and then stored and not been used for many years. So the main chassis's had a wipe down. So we're now on to cleaning the rest of the plastic parts and then taking a look at the gears and the diffs. Well, that's all the plastic parts and the shocks all dismantled and cleaned up. Now we're going to make a start on all the differentials. So I've taken the diff apart, and the ball bearings inside all look okay, and so do the diff plates. So I think that just needs re-greasing. So I haven't got that up here. What I'm going to do when I rebuild the chassis back up, I'm going to re-grease this and re-grease this one as well with some new ball diff grease. And hopefully they'll be okay, because there's still plenty of grease on that particular one. But this one here, it just feels a bit dry when I'm turning the diff. So I'm going to re-grease it. The only thing I have noticed, if you look at the top, you can see that. Top of the drive cup there on the diff, it's all cracked and broken. So I still think this needs replacing, but finding one of those is not easy. So I will continue to look. So for now, we've finished stripping this chassis down and cleaning it up, and we are about ready for the next step, which is going to be putting this back together again. So that's it for our RC restore this week, or this month rather, and next month we'll be on to rebuilding it. So there you have it, guys, end of another show. I hope you've all enjoyed that. This is the part of the show where we tell you what's coming up on the channel in the next month. Well, it's Christmas, and Christmas is a time of giving, so I thought I would gift you all with a massive video, which is going to be out in a couple of weeks' time, just before Christmas. And the title of the video is the OAG Festival of Scale Speed. And I won't tell you any more, I'll just run this trailer. So there you have it. I'm sure you're all wondering, what is the Festival of Scale Speed? Well, you'll have to stick around to find out. Video will be out in a couple of weeks' time. And I really do hope that you all join me, and look forward to reading your comments and see what we've done with that video. I'm hoping to get this thing out as well. The decals have started peeling off, which is a little bit frustrating. I don't think I did a particularly good job putting them on in the first place. It's going to go out and have a run. So we found a couple of places where there's some tarmac and some gravel and some sand, where it's going to be perfect rallying conditions. So a buddy of mine's got some cars as well, and we're going to get out and run some rally cars and take a bit of footage. So that should be good fun as well. Right, all enjoy your December. I know it's a busy time for everybody, and whatever you do, make sure you have lots of fun. I'm sure you will do. It's Christmas time, and if you don't have some fun, get your RCs out and play with those. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye now.